die. So when we die, surely we want to die peacefully. You will die peacefully. Why will you die peacefully? Because your habitual tendency is metta. You're always so full of loving thoughts. When it's time to go, you can just let go. You won't die with anger. You won't die with hatred. Because your habitual tendencies may all be bigger and happy. You're full of loving thoughts all the time. So you die peacefully. And why is it that you can be reborn in happy states? Oh, this is the question mark. Why is it that if I practice metta, I will be reborn in happy states? Because what determines your next birth are two things. Two things determine our next birth. Number one, our habitual tendencies. How have we led our entire life? If you led your entire life by being a burglar, a killer and all that, chances are we won't be born in a happy place after that. So number one is habitual tendency. Number two is your last thought moment. Your last thought just before you die. Whether the person is comatose or whatever, it's a sudden death, it's a tragic accident, there is a last thought moment. What is that last thought moment? So we want to die peacefully. So that the last thought moment is one of loving kindness. Then possibly you'll be reborn back as a happy human, or maybe as a Brahma, a Deva, happy realms. See, the last thought moment is actually very easy to understand because rebirth is the next moment. So how are you now? Just before you die, you're happy. Next moment, you're happy also, in a happy realm. So these are the 11 benefits of metta. So now everybody has 11 incentives to practice metta. So let's practice it diligently. Alright? The Buddha describes metta in this Itivuttaka Sutta that metta is as bright as the full moon on a starry night. If on a starry night, you look up and you see lots of stars, you see the full moon, that full moon is metta. All the stars in the sky are all the other good deeds that you can do. This full moon will dim the entire starry sky. What does that mean? What does this metaphor mean? It means metta is the foundation of all other good deeds. All other good deeds stem from metta, a mind and heart of loving kindness. And metta is the foundation for the other three Brahmaviharas. So now we're going to look at karuna. Karuna is compassion. The Buddha describes karuna as the tender, noble heart that quivers at the suffering of others. So again, the Buddha uses a mother's love. If your child is sick, how do you feel? That is karuna. So if you have metta for all beings, when you see all beings suffering, every being is like your child. Because we are supposed to have metta. So you see the stray dog that's suffering on the road, that is your child. You're going to love that stray dog as your child. So surely you want to help. That's compassion. Passion for the community. Compassion is passion to help the community. The community is everyone. Right? Now, there's a lot of cruelty in the world. If you look at these pictures, cruelty to humans, cruelty to animals, there's lots of cruelty in the world. Karuna, compassion, subdues cruelty. So if you've got compassion, the moment you see this, your heart quivers. Although they are just pictures, but these things are real. These are photographs. These are not drawings. They are real. So the moment you see this, your immediate reaction is, how can I help? How can I reduce this type of suffering? What can I do? That is the beginning of compassion. So having the intention, you try and do something, whatever you can, to try and alleviate some of this suffering. That is an act of compassion. Reducing people's suffering. You see this? Yeah, these are real photographs. People have no food to eat, suffering from famine, from poverty. And there's lots we can do. Yeah? We can give our contribution in cash, in kind. Every little bit helps. Yeah? Every little bit helps. So like for now, the urgent need is Myanmar. They're in a crisis now. So if we can't go to Myanmar and offer our services with Suchi, for example, we can always give a small donation. Anything that comes sincerely from the heart, that's an act of compassion. It has to come sincerely from the heart, no matter how small. Because remember what the Buddha taught about giving. The Buddha says, even if you were to finish eating, and you take your bowl and rinse it and you throw the water out, but your intention of throwing the water out is that whatever insects there in my garden will benefit. Sincerely you do that, it's an act of compassion. It's meritorious because it comes from a sincere heart. Okay? Then there's lots. A little bit of money that you give can help a lot. For example, last year's American Idol, you watch American Idol? Yeah, Idol gives back, right? During Idol gives back, they raise a lot of money. Last year I watched Idol gives back and they saved for as little as $1 US, something like that. You can actually save 4 lives in these poor countries because you can provide vaccination to them. You can be vaccinated from all these deadly diseases. As little as $1 US, that's only about 4 ringgit or less. You can actually save so many lives already. Okay, and if you really, really want to help in kind, there are all these, remember where animals are on the 31 place I showed you? Yeah? You have stray animals living around you all the time. What do they need? They need food and shelter. So if you can't provide shelter, you provide food. Your leftover food, you can feed them. Okay? Even if you can't bring them into your house and keep them as pets, some people have constraints, they can't do it, feed them. I have friends who spend their birthdays and so on buying dog food, cat food, they go around feeding the strays. They bring bowls and so on, they feed the strays. After that they collect back, so that they don't dirty the place. There are people who do that. It is an act of compassion. And after that you feel really good. This Chinese New Year, I didn't go back to my hometown. I went around feeding the strays as well as the dogs that were kept on the porch. You know, the owners go home, they leave their big dogs on the porch, the gate is locked. And they leave them there for 1 whole week with dry food and a basin of water. But sometimes it dries up or it gets toppled over. So what I do is I bought dog food, I brought plates that are shallow enough to slide through the gate. So I went around doing that and I felt very happy. And the dogs were very happy. They look forward to seeing you. You know, your rewards come from there, you know, the happiness that you can give. You know, it's not recognition. They can't say thank you to you. Your name doesn't get published anywhere. Nobody comes and takes photo and puts it on the newspaper. That's not important. The true happiness comes when you can see, I'm giving someone happiness, I'm helping a suffering being. That is the reward. Okay, all these tiny animals in your garden, you can always help. Okay? Give them a chance to live. They just want to live. Give them a chance to live. The Buddha says, if you serve me, during the Buddha's time, everybody was clamoring to serve the Buddha. Because many people have this misconception. They think it's more meritorious to serve the enlightened beings. So everybody says, oh, I want to offer dana to the Buddha. They think you can collect more points. But that's not right. So the Buddha corrected them. No. If you serve me, you must also serve the sick and suffering. And so the Buddha made an example here. He served this old monk who was dying. This is an old monk, Putigasa Tissa. He was suffering from a skin disorder, and his skin started to rot and it smelled so badly. Nobody wanted to go near him. So he lived all alone in the hut and he was dying. No cure. When the Buddha found out, the Buddha together with some monks went to nurse him every day. The Buddha would bathe him, change him, feed him. The Buddha himself will come down to that level and looked after him until he died, gave him a proper funeral, put his ashes in a respectable place. So the Buddha taught us by example. So remember, if we want to serve the Buddha, we must serve all who are sick and suffering. It's like serving the Buddha. And who is this? Everybody knows her. Everybody respects her. Master Cheng Yen, founder of Suchi. Yeah? She teaches the Suchi members how to practice compassion. Practice compassion with gratitude for the needy. Be thankful to the needy. That is why you see when Suchi members serve you, they serve you with so much respect. Yeah? They serve you with so much respect. It's different from those people who are in power and look down on